He was a quiet man, a husband, a father, a professional architect designing office spaces and suburban homes. From the outside, he was normal, boring even. But what police would uncover was anything but ordinary. The name Rex Heuermann would become infamous in 2023. But his dark story began long before. Victims buried in burlap, skeletons left in shallow graves, a beach turned into a body dump. Welcome to Mysteries from the Past. Today, we take you deep into the twisted case of the Long Island serial killer, a ghost that haunted Gilgo Beach for over a decade. If this story grips you like it did us, please like and subscribe, because what you're about to hear may stay with you forever. Part 1. Discovery at Gilgo Beach. The Long Island serial killer, or LISK, was unknown, undetected, and invisible for years. The story begins with a 911 call. May 1st, 2010, Shannon Gilbert, 24, was panicking. She dialed 911 and told the operator, "They're trying to kill me." She fled into the marshes near Oak Beach and was never seen alive again. But Shannon's disappearance led investigators to a far more disturbing discovery. While searching for her near Gilgo Beach, police stumbled upon something unexpected: a burlap-wrapped corpse. Then another, and another. 4 women, all buried about 500 feet apart, all posed similarly, and all believed to be sex workers who advertised on Craigslist and Backpage. Their names? Melissa Barthelemy, 24, Megan Waterman, 22, Amber Lynn Costello, 27, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, 25. Let's take a closer look at who these women really were. Part 2. The victims' lives. Maureen Brainerd Barnes, a single mother of 2 from Connecticut, was last seen in 2007. A writer and a dreamer, she had been using online platforms to connect with people for financial support. She had promised her sister she'd be back in a few days. She never returned. Melissa Barthelemy was 24, last seen in July 2009. A petite woman with big dreams, Melissa had worked out of the Bronx and kept in regular contact with her family until one day her calls stopped. Weeks later, her younger sister received a chilling phone call from Melissa's phone. A man's voice, cold, mocking. He taunted her, saying her sister was dead. Megan Waterman, only 22, was a mother from Maine. She traveled to Long Island with a man believed to be her pimp. CCTV captured her walking out of a hotel in Hauppauge in 2010. She vanished. Amber Lynn Costello, 27, had struggled with addiction and bounced between rehab and relapse. She was last seen leaving her house in North Babylon after getting a call for a client. She told her roommate she'd be back in a few hours. Each of these women had lives, families, dreams, and each of them died in the hands of a man who stalked them in the dark corners of the internet. And this killer, who showed restraint, planning, and ruthless precision, left nothing behind. That is, until 2023. In 2011, the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit joined the case. With so little forensic evidence, they worked to build a psychological profile. Here's what they found. The killer was organized. He selected vulnerable women, used burner phones, and planned each step meticulously. The use of burlap, a material used in farming and gardening, pointed to someone either in those fields or someone who wanted to appear that way. He likely had knowledge of Gilgo Beach and felt comfortable returning repeatedly to dispose of the bodies. He used prepaid phones and created fake identities online. One burner was even traced to Midtown Manhattan. A cell tower ping placed the device near 5th Avenue and 36th Street, a detail that would later become key. He didn't just kill and flee. He kept trophies. He might have revisited the crime scenes in his mind, if not in person. And then, 13 years later, the mask began to slip. Are you still with us? If you find this story chilling, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Mysteries from the Past, because what's coming next will send chills down your spine. Who is Rex Heuermann? Born in 1964, Rex Heuermann grew up in Massapequa Park, Long Island, a middle-class neighborhood, a safe place, or so it seemed. He graduated from Berner High School and studied at the New York Institute of Technology, eventually becoming a licensed architect. His firm, R.H. Consultants and Associates, was located in Midtown Manhattan. Rex lived in a modest home with his wife and 2 children. He commuted to Manhattan daily. Colleagues described him as awkward, introverted, sometimes cold, but a professional. He kept a low profile, avoided confrontation, and melted into the background. But behind that quiet demeanor was a predator. According to prosecutors, Heuermann used at least 7 burner phones to contact victims, maintained over 300 Google searches about the Lisk case, researched how to torture women and dispose of bodies, looked up victims' families, crime scenes, and even watched surveillance footage of the investigation unfold. He was obsessed with the case because he was the case. The breakthrough. In early 2022, a task force secretly began tailing Heuermann. Surveillance teams collected trash, coffee cups, even pizza crusts. DNA was pulled from one item, and hair found on one of the victims matched familial DNA from Heuermann's wife. While his family was away on vacation, police raided the Heuermann home. Inside, they found hundreds of guns, many unregistered, boxes of burner phones, maps, IDs, and computer drives, and potentially trophies, small personal items belonging to the victims. What made it more horrifying? His daughter slept upstairs. His wife had no idea. In July 2023, Rex Heuermann was arrested outside his Manhattan office, charged with the murders of Melissa, Megan, and Amber. Investigators believe he is responsible for more, but even now he maintains his innocence. Theories, trials, and the future. So, what comes next? Heuermann's case is headed to trial. The prosecution is building a timeline that spans over a decade. The defense claims he's being scapegoated by coincidence and circumstance. But many questions remain. Was he working alone? Is he connected to Shannon Gilbert's death? What about the other 6 unidentified victims found near Gilgo Beach? Some theorize there may have been multiple killers using the same stretch of land to dump bodies. Others believe Heuermann started earlier than 2007. What's certain is this: the mask is off. The man who built buildings may have also built graves. And now we ask, are we ever truly safe? How well do you know the man next door? This case reminds us that evil doesn't always come in the form of a monster. Sometimes it wears a tie, commutes by train, smiles at the cashier, and buries its secrets beneath the sand. This is Mysteries from the Past. If this story kept you glued to your seat, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more real-life stories that will haunt your thoughts. Stay alert, stay aware, because the most dangerous people often live right next door.